Greetings and welcome to Tome of Fate. I'm Brett Chmielewski, and these are your quick under 5-minute guides, reviews, recaps of Call of Champions. And this time we're talking about Jack, the Nightmare Thief, the latest champion to get released into the game. His design looks awesome, and it's a perfect time for him to get released. It's Halloween, and you know what? He fits that role so perfectly. So I believe this was timed here a little bit. So kudos to you, Space Time. So if you can pick up Jack, definitely do that. He was early access for premium members only, which is what they do with all their champions that get released. So if you want to get them that week early, you got to get that premium. Otherwise, you can pick him up with gold and platinum. He's pretty awesome looking, and he's a lot of fun to play, a little tricky and maybe a little cumbersome, which we'll go over here in a little bit. But before jumping into his abilities, I want to mention his trait. So Jack he gets terror. He gets 5 stacks of terror, and each one of his abilities are altered or enhanced or changed, depending on if he has terror or if he doesn't. You have no choice. If you use the terror or if you don't use the terror, it's going to be used if you have it. If you don't have it, it's not used. So I want to mention his 5th ability first. So Jack's 5th ability is called Empowering Nightmare. So Jack damages an enemy, taking their soul and receiving a stack of terror. This is important to do. You got to keep getting your terror back because there's really no reason to use any of your abilities without terror. They're just not as good, which is kind of silly. But you have to remember when you're playing Call of Champions that the 5th ability isn't the ultimate. I think I first started playing and I kept saving that, thinking it was the best ability to use. So you wanted to wait till the end to finish people off or start the fight with this. Nope, it's just another ability. So go ahead and use it just like you would all the other ones whenever you want. Then getting to Jack's abilities, his first ability is called Heads Up. Jack hurls his head at an enemy for damage. If Jack has terror, impact damage nearby enemies. And Heads Up adds a 25% damage debuff to targets for 4 seconds. So this is a skill shot. You throw your head, it hits them. If you have terror, it hits them and does AoE damage. Pretty easy ability, one of Jack's most easy to understand, I think. Jack's 2nd ability is called Contraption. Jack throws electroplasm, damaging an enemy. If Jack has terror, Smokestack spawns and damages a nearby enemy. Smokestack is pretty awesome looking. I like the design of him. He just looks really creepy and weird and fits in with Jack's whole theme. Kind of, goes along with Violet's Midnight as well. So very cool. This one is cumbersome to use because you cannot move. After you click it, you can't move, and you need a target to activate it on. It can be an enemy, it can be a tower, it can be a turret, anything like that. But you need an enemy, and it's very hard to catch up to them to use it because maybe they're just out of range. You click it, oh, now they're out of range because you stopped to do it. Jack's 3rd ability is called Soul Riot. Jack heals allies in a target area, so it's just like an instant heal. But if Jack has terror, he summons a pumpkin patch that heals multiple allies. This one took me a while to realize the terror mechanic here because I was always wondering why I didn't have the pumpkin patch. You gotta have terror. The pumpkin patch is pretty neat looking. It's just this big area of effect that heals them. But, sometimes you don't want that pumpkin patch. You just want that quick heal. Like if you're running or being chased, you just need to heal yourself real quick. But sometimes you'll throw it on the pumpkin patch, and then you have to stand in there to heal when really you just want the heal to run away and survive or something like that. So this one I feel like is the terror mechanic is kind of hurting it. But if you're diving turrets or something like that, you throw down the pumpkin patch, your whole team is healing, and you heal a greater amount if you're in there the whole time than if you just run through it. So it's a heal over time. Jack's 4th ability is called Foolery. Jack attacks in a cone, debuffing enemy resistance. If Jack has terror, an evil entity attacks nearby enemies, snarling and debuffing their resistance. So this is a cool little, just puff cloud soul thing that's just kind of attacking them if you have terror. And this one's you can cast openly in the field. You don't need a target or anything. That you can be walking and you can just throw it down, and this little like ectoplasm puffball thing like comes out and starts attacking whatever is nearby. This one definitely easy to understand, but the debuff thing, it's helpful. It's not doing a lot of damage, but Jack is supposed to be a support. That's what he's designed for, but he has this debuff. He has this heal. I feel like he could benefit from some sort of shield because he's a kind of complicated support with the terror mechanic and things like that. It's just kind of it's a little cumbersome to me. Like, it's just tough to remember and keep your terror attacks up when you're trying to like help your enemies or your allies survive, and just like zoning out your enemies. But we'll see. Jack could use a little bit of tweaks just to make him a little, I guess, easier, but maybe it just takes some time to play with. I know for me it took 10, 20 games before I finally understood this terror mechanic and realized like, oh, just make sure you have terror up because all your stuff is so much better. It's kind of dumb not to have terror. So use your Empowering Nightmare, get terror up as much as you can. But check him out. He looks the best. He's probably one of the coolest looking champions in the game right now. So a lot of fun wandering around the realm there. So check him out. Well, that'll do it for this Tome of Fate. Take care.